See, now I saw screenshots for this and knew it was going to be a big old piece of trash. It would have taken everybody that I watch for movie reviews and TV show reviews they would have to collectively, Jeremy Johns, the Drinker, Neurotic, Snarky J, just to name a few. They would all have to collectively, oh my God, this is incredible, for me to even attempt to give it a shot. Now, what are we all here to do? We are all here to laugh and have a good time. I'm sure Drinker will destroy this. Let's enjoy.
Oh man, that was the best Star Trek parody I've seen in years. Wait, what do you mean this is a real show? Oh my God! Ever watch something so hilariously, outlandishly crap that you actually have to do a double take just to make sure it's not some sophisticated trolling op? Well, such was the case with the first episode of Starfleet Academy, which I'm roughly 200% sure will be my first and only experience of this show.
Oh, yeah. This will be my only experience of it.
Oh my days. I knew it was going to be bad, but even I didn't expect it to be this bad. Part of me even thought the trailers might be a clever little bait and switch, deliberately setting expectations lower than the Grand Canyon, only to pull off a sudden transition into serious, thoughtful, high-quality Star Trek adventure. Oh, Drinker, you foolish optimist, you. Sometimes a spade really is just a spade, and sometimes a shitty Star Trek show really is just a shitty Star Trek show. And truly, they don't come much shittier than Starfleet Academy. The story is set like 1,000 years after the events of the original series, through a combination of contrived events from Star Trek Discovery that I absolutely don't have the time or the mental energy to talk about. The high-level view, though, is that an event called the Burn disabled warp travel throughout the galaxy, causing the Federation to collapse and leaving individual planets and star systems to fend for themselves. Wow. And if this all sounds a bit like the Age of Strife from Warhammer 40k, then congratulations, you now know just as much about writing as these fucking hacks. Anyway, things are finally getting back on track now, and the Federation is starting to rebuild itself with Starfleet leading the way. Okay. Only now there's basically two versions of Starfleet. Starfleet Academy, that's all about peaceful exploration and diplomacy like in the old days, and the War College, which is... well, I think you can figure that out for yourself. Anyway, the show centres around main character Caleb, who's a moody, rebellious hunk with a dark past but a heart of gold, who brings trouble with him everywhere he goes, but man, the ladies can't resist. He got separated from his mother 15 years earlier after they enlisted the help of Paul Giamatti to steal supplies and promptly got caught. Nice to see Tatiana Maslany getting out of her toll booth or wherever the fuck she's been for the past couple of years, because you won't be seeing her in Marvel movies again. Caleb was approached by Holly Hunter, who managed to fix her false teeth in...
Who was working at a toll booth? There was an actress that was working at a toll booth, right? I know that's where that joke is from.
It's long enough to put his mum in prison 15 years earlier with a sweet little offer. Join Starfleet Academy and she'll help him to find his mother again. Wait, what? You understand that Starfleet Academy is supposed to be reserved for the best of the best, right? The officer class, the cut above, the kind of people who command starships when they graduate. Why the fuck would they accept a convicted criminal with a long history of escape attempts and violent behaviour? And even if they did, surely he's just gonna bail the moment he finds his mother again, and all the time and resources put into training him would have been completely wasted. Fuck it, why am I even asking these questions? Stuff like this can be filed away neatly into the "we need the rest of the plot to happen" drawer. So the cadets are put aboard the USS Athena for the trip back to Starfleet Academy on Earth to begin their training. Wait, what? I mean, I know it's kind of a waste of time to ask questions like this, but seriously, isn't this completely ass backwards? Aren't you supposed to do your training at Starfleet Academy, then graduate to starships, so you can apply what you've learned in a practical environment? Why does the inside of the Athena look like an impossibly massive
face almost gave me
instead
chills.
Of a starship? Am I like taking crazy pills or something?
Don't ask questions.
Just
Fuck
consume
it,
product.
it's Trek. This show is to logic and common sense what Kathleen Kennedy is to self-reflection and personal accountability. Either way, this is where we meet the rest of whatever passes for characters in this show. There's a body-positive hologram with learning disabilities, a body-positive first officer who tries to act hard by yelling at people a lot, a body-positive science officer. Holy fuck, there's more congealed blubber in this show than a Reddit mods convention. There's a tough-talking, smart-ass girl boss, because clearly Star Trek needs more of them.
Yeah.
Girls get it done.
I love the moment where she easily breaks up a fist fight between two men twice her size. Here's a little tip for you ladies. If two grown men are going at it, then putting yourself between them is a very quick and efficient way to get knocked the fuck out.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's also an arrogant white guy from a privileged background who's there to be arrogant and white, and a Klingon who's abandoned the warrior code to get in touch with his sensitive side because he enjoys bird watching. I'm not even making this stuff up.
No.
You know, I'm old enough to remember how much of a ruckus it caused when Worf showed up on the bridge of the Enterprise in TNG. Yeah, he was a Starfleet officer, but he was still very much a Klingon at heart, always wrestling with the violent impulses of his nature and his warrior upbringing. I don't know what the fuck this dude is supposed to be, but it's not a Klingon, that's for sure. So the gang set off on their first cruise, but oh no, they get ambushed by Paul Giamatti, and before you can say shitty contrived writing, the Athena's out of action quicker than a college girl at a drinking
The only thing I remember her from is Batman v Superman. She's like, I know how to wrestle a pig.
Test. He wants their warp core so he can sell it off for lots of money. I mean, the guy has access to programmable matter that could disable frontline starships in a matter of seconds, but yeah, sure, a warp core is definitely what he needs.
That doesn't make sense.
Also, why does Holly Hunter sit in her captain's chair like a fucking polio victim? Does she know that this is a starship bridge instead of a quaint coffee shop in Portland?
She's out of the box. She's probably cool or something like that, against the grain type of captain. You could probably, that's what it is, I assume, from that.
Is Paul Giamatti able to force her to sit down when he's a fucking hologram with no physical presence? Why does Holly Hunter use reading glasses when Retinax 5's been available for like 1,000 years by this point?
Just consume product and then get excited for next product.
The point is that Caleb does a bunch of technobabble bullshit to get the programmable matter off the hull, allowing them to bluff Paul Giamatti into abandoning his mission, even when it's completely obvious that they're lying to him, leading to possibly the most one-sided fight I've seen since Jake Paul convinced himself he could take on Anthony Joshua. A 25-year-old bodybuilder versus a tubby 58-year-old man. Guess who wins? But then Paul Giamatti gets away in an escape pod.
You never know in today's age.
Because I guess these things aren't tracked by the ship that launched them, and everyone has a nice slow-mo scene where they smile at the camera and contemplate their impending career suicide, and that's it, the episode ends. Oh, Star Trek, my old friend, what have they done to you? You know, I remember when Star Trek was a serious show made by serious people with a passion for science and technology, and
The Next Generation got me watching Star Trek. I wasn't interested in it as a child when the Captain Kirk series used to come on. Every once in a while, I would watch, but it never drew me in like Star Wars did. When The Next Generation came out, I felt as though it was one of those, new desperate attempts to reboot something, and, because a lot of that stuff does not work. They try to reboot a lot of stuff that was older, and it's happening now. It happens now, And I was pleasantly surprised. I was like, oh, this kept my attention. The story was interesting. And I was watching. And I'm watching and I'm watching and I'm watching and loving The Next Generation. So, Captain Picard's my favorite captain. Stage I grew up in, but it was actually good. Not saying that that series wasn't good, but it was dated to me. You know what I mean? So,
a desire to broaden human horizons. How times have changed. After the
and I never watched the other one. What was the other one with the space station? Oh, what was that called? Deep Space Nine? Is that what it was? I never watched that one. I was like, what? the space station. Y'all ain't traveling nowhere. Just and right there, just and maybe they did travel places, but it just never caught my attention. I never watched it.
Of Discovery, Picard, and Strange
I think I caught like
Worlds.
one
I
episode.
honestly thought we'd seen an end of the brain-dead, cringe-inducing, hyper-identity politics-driven garbage wearing the Star Trek brand like a skin suit, but apparently not. Is this like some kind of humiliation ritual at this point? Do they hate their own franchise? I ask because I'm genuinely trying to come up.
Like I said, I truly think it's a high possibility that so many of these studios signed some type of contract for a certain amount of time, or movies, or series, and then when you get to video games, certain amount of video games, certain amount of comic books, certain amount of books, certain amount of TV shows, they had to sign up to do all this modern audience garbage for a certain amount of time. Once the contract is up, they don't have to do it no more. I think that's a high possibility because too many of them have gone so far into destroying their IPs to the point where you think they would have turned around by now and they haven't. So either they're that gung-ho about it or they have to. You know what I'm saying?
The plausible explanation for this utter bilge. The chirpy, quippy Joss Whedon dialogue that undercuts every moment with even a hint of drama. The body-positive officers whose only natural enemies are treadmills. The characters played by soft charisma vacuum actors who tick every dimension possible. The soulless, empty sets that somehow manage to look bright and depressingly dim at the same time. All of the tedious tropes of modern Star Trek are dialed up to 11 and shoved into this turd of a show. And the question I keep asking myself is, why? What are you hoping to achieve with this thing, Paramount? Who are you even trying to appeal to? I mean, it must be obvious even to you that this whole new Trek thing just isn't working, and it hasn't worked for like 5 years now. You're like a gambler that's lost everything and owes a small fortune to a loan shark that's got leg breakers on speed dial, convinced he can somehow turn it all around with one more spin of the wheel. Well, you can't, and the viewing figures reflect that. The first episode was released for free on YouTube, and even then, it was beaten in live viewers by a plastic action figure sitting in a chair. That's my boy, Gary. Shit, man, even now it's only got like 150,000 views in 4 days. This video is going to get more than that in 4 hours. That's not just bad, that's fucking catastrophic. The comments section is pure gold, though. So this is a little plea from me to you, Paramount. Do yourselves a favour, and please, just stop. Stop making Star Trek shows. You're not helping anyone, and you're not going to make any money from them, that's for sure.
I'm going to put a caveat on there. Start making good Star Trek shows. And you know how to do it. We know you do. You've done it before. We know you do. You know what you're doing wrong. Stop it. Stop it.
You've already run the brand right into the ground and salted the earth, and now it is dead, Jim. It's dead in a way that no brand can ever hope to come back from. It's been a good run, but Star Trek is officially over. It's time to let it rest in peace.
Yeah, that's anyway, how we feel.
That's all I've got for today. Go away now.
And he's right. His video's going to get more than your video in a couple of hours. Damn shame. It's been 22 hours and he's got close to 1 million. He's got almost 900,000 views. Damn shame. Damn shame. Well. Post your comments down below. Let me know what you all think about this. Oh man, did you watch it? Did you go through the pain, the turmoil? Did you have to endure all of this? I didn't. That's why I went to Drinker to find out what's happening on it. He went to the trenches for us. And, sir, 10 million subscribed.